Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Have You Ever Played podcast, the only podcast that just discovered soundboards exist. I'm Matt, aka Matt Von Dude, and who are you?
I'm James, aka James04E.
And I've been gifted with cursed knowledge that in our recording software, there's just the option to have sound effects, which I have off screen fart with reverb sound effect queued. It's queued up. I don't know if I will ever use it. It's kind of the nuclear option. If there's, I guess, if you have to fill for time, if there's dead air, I can maybe press it in case of emergencies. I'm going to crank the volume to maximum volume on it, and we'll just see if that ever needs to be used. But I have it. It's like a nuclear. It's like the launch codes. I have it
Oh
ready to
boy,
click if I need to. So yeah,
the
that's this
launch
week.
codes.
That's the whole podcast. Um, besides the soundboard, I want to tease later in the pod. We haven't been doing questions recently. We usually answer questions at the end of the podcast. Questions that you could send in at hyeppodcast@gmail.com. We also have some wonderful AI generated questions which we answer sometimes, and
Yeesh.
it's been getting a little stale with some of our questions. So I figured I would generate some new questions, and I used wacky in the generation prompt. So I'm gonna just hit James with one of the questions. One of the we have five wacky questions this week,
Oh
and
boy.
I'm open it up to James right now with the first question, and then we'll revisit these later. But James, if you could replace any game's protagonist with a household appliance, which game appliance combo would you choose?
Ooh,
What a good
this is a good
question.
one. This is a
What a
really good one.
great non AI generated
Okay,
question.
so this is kind of complicated because
Hmm.
what capabilities does the house appliance have? Like
Hmm.
like if I were to replace Master Chief with a fork, is it still implied that they would do all the things Master Chief do, but or Master Chief does, but it's just a fork, or
I think we have to imagine VeggieTales logic, where the appliance or the any type of it has it has giant googly eyes and is alive. You know what I mean?
okay, can it
That's what
talk?
I imagine. So a
Hmm.
fork? Why a fork?
I don't know. That's just the first thing that came to mind. Can it talk?
That's not even an appliance. That's a utensil.
I guess, but it's kind of an appliance. I don't know. Can it talk though?
No, and a wait. List some things you think are appliances.
I don't know. I'm drawing blanks here.
Oh, there's so you have
And like a,
in
a
your I can
vacuum,
see them in your video.
like furniture. I
No,
don't
an
know.
appliance is like a specific. I mean, a vacuum maybe. That now I was thinking like a kitchen appliance, but I guess a vacuum
Well,
is an appliance.
yes. Aren't utensils included as kitchen appliances?
I thought an appliance is like a mixer or like a microwave. I'm looking up the definition.
Let me see.
A device or
Oh,
piece of
there's a
equipment
list. Okay,
designed
there's an official list.
to perform a specific task, typically a domestic one. Well, that could be anything.
Yeah.
Under that definition, I don't think it. I wouldn't use it to describe a fork, but I think it fits under the definition. But I'm thinking like coffee maker, refrigerator, microwave, blender,
Hmm.
something like that. So,
Yeah.
but like a fork,
I don't know, like off the top of my head, there are no appliances that are like special and they're all just kind of do their things,
blender's cool.
I guess. But what would it do differently from like a toaster in the game context?
Blend. You could like stick someone's arm in the blender, like your head. Like the head is the blender, and I guess the whole body is the blender. And you could blend things like a Gears of War style. I guess. You know,
Yeah, I guess.
you're not treating the
I mean,
question with
yeah,
respect that
I
it
guess like the
deserves. To be
easiest
honest.
one would then to be like replace Marcus Phoenix from Gears of War with a blender.
Okay, well that's my answer. Or that was
Sure.
not. That isn't my answer. I didn't want that to be my answer. I had a lot of thoughts about this.
Also,
Um.
a vacuum cleaner does count, by the way.
Okay, that makes sense because
I've
it's a household
confirmed.
appliance. Um.
Uh,
Yeah. So I don't know.
I think it'd be
That
cool to replace Chell from Portal with a vacuum cleaner.
I like that. I like your
Because
line of
you vacuum stuff
logic there.
into the portal
I like it. I
and
I get
you
that.
just
Wait, it's
consume
kind
it.
of like a gravity gun.
Yeah.
It's the vacuum was the first gravity gun from Half-Life 2.
Yes, indeed.
Hmm. Have you,
Valve just
speaking
really
of
like vacuums.
yes, they Valve really likes to suck. That's terrible. Let's move on. Speaking of Half-Life 2, have you seen any of the RTX stuff for those games, like the RTX remix for older games?
No, not really. Crap, I just realized
Look
I didn't
up
save that.
Portal 2 RTX and Half-Life 2 RTX.
Hmm.
Portal 1 RTX. That was kind of the first one they showed. It's I watched a video about this the other day where the art, do you know, like the RTX, like the NVIDIA graphics card stuff that supports
Yeah.
it. Um, there is ways to add that and ray tracing to older games,
Hmm.
and it kind of makes some of these older games look really insane. And part of it kind of looks a little bit like Nintendo hire this man style, like Unreal Grass. You know what I mean? Like where it's
Yeah.
like Sonic Frontiers, how that
Hmm.
game looks. Um, but the lighting and the texture stuff is pretty cool. There's a lot of like AI upscaling and all that. It's
Yeah.
neat. You can look at like Morrowind as an example too, like an older game that looks cool.
Hmm.
Mhm. Yeah. Um, I'm really tempted. My fingers over the button. I'm not gonna do.
Fingers
It's gonna be
over the
so
button.
loud too.
Damn.
It would just ruin all of the audio mixing in the podcast. But I'm not
Man.
gonna. I'm not gonna do it. Maybe one day I'll be tempted.
Hmm.
Anyway, my answer for the appliance question is there's a game Secret Agent Clank for PSP
Hmm.
where PSP was just making weird spin-off games of like the sidekick characters.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember I played Daxter.
Exactly. They were doing like here's the sidekick character from this like platformer, and now it's their own game for some reason. I guess they weren't confident enough to give the protagonist a full story on the PSP, but the sidekicks could get one.
Hmm.
Um, in Secret Agent Clank, there was a skin for the character of Clank, which was a Blender skin. So it's kind of built into the game already, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. That's my answer. That's my and you can look forward to questions like that later on in the
Oh
podcast.
God.
There's four more questions that are equally as good. I'm gonna delete that from the list. Anyway,
Hog.
James, now that we've answered the wondrous AI generated question, what have you been up to recently?
Um, Not too much. You know, same old, same old. Hell, some stuff did happen in Helldivers too, though.
Hmm.
Um, so they managed to unlock the mechs. Thankfully, Joel. I thought his name was Greg, but it's actually Joel. Is like the game master guy. He didn't interfere when we were trying to conquer the mech planet. So yeah, we have mechs now, and they're uh, they're very overpowered, but they're also kind of finicky because so there's one that fires missiles, from what I understand, and if you are moving or turning while you fire the missile, you just blow yourself up because of
That's
the way
probably
it
by
fires.
design,
Yeah,
for
because it's
sure.
just because of the way it fires. So you have to like stop and stand still, and
That's hilarious.
yeah, and the mechs have like limited resources, so eventually they'll run out and they'll just kind of sit there. But you can use them as cover, which is really nice. Um, and yeah, I mean, besides that, not too much like actual new stuff with Helldivers. You know, just walking around, destroying robots and bugs. Apparently, they did like a balance patch where they reworked how like some bug armor works because people found this strategy where there's a bug called the Charger, and like it has really heavy armor on its front but not much armor on its back. So like you're supposed to dodge a charge and then shoot it in the back, but that takes a bit. People apparently realize if you shoot it in the back of the legs, it just kind of dies. Like it
Hmm.
just falls over. So and the devs were like, well, we didn't mean for that to happen. So they buffed the damage you do to its actual intended weak spots. I don't think they changed the leg shot thing, but yeah, they were pretty clear that it was unintended. So maybe they'll change it. Who knows?
Hmm.
But it was just kind of funny because they were actually just falling over from experienced players, and yeah, it was very obviously not intended.
Now, is that game like? Do you think there's longevity there? Is that still because I made a thumbnail? I'm like the flavor of the month game. Because I bought into uh, what's it called? I want to say
Palworld?
Bad Company. It is not bad. It is
Ah,
uh oh my god, what is that game called? Lethal Company.
Lethal Company, yeah.
And I played for like 3 days, and that was cool. Then everyone stopped playing. Same thing
Hmm.
with like Diablo and Call of Duty and like everything. The game seems cool. Do you think it'll? You think you'll be talking about it next week?
I think as long as they keep updating it, yeah. Like it's
Hmm.
from the pattern I've seen, it's usually like every week or so they do something cool, or like they give the players something new to do. At the very least, they're doing like balance patches. I still don't think the balance still needs a little work because at the moment, like I said last time, or I think I talked about this last time, they kind of nerfed a lot of things, um, and so people are kind of trying to figure out like what's good now. And people have picked up a few new things. They figured out that the laser cannon, which used to be like really really bad, because it took like a long time to charge up and didn't do enough damage. Apparently now it's pretty good. And it's like the go to anti armor thing. Previously, people used the railgun, and the railgun was really funny because it was like a scoped railgun, and it had a safe and an unsafe mode. And in the unsafe mode, if you charge it up for too long, it would just explode in your hands. So they nerfed the safe mode, so you're supposed to use it in unsafe mode. So, so like for the gun to be like viable, you have to risk blowing yourself up if you like hold your shot for too long. So a bunch of people
That's.
are running around with the railguns and just dying, like literally just spontaneously combusting mid fight.
I mean, that sounds perfect for the type of game and what they're going for, comedy wise.
Yeah.
That sounds like what you want. You know.
Hmm. Yeah, and then
Um.
also people found out the flamethrower is good now. Uh, Before it was pretty bad because so the flames kind of linger, and the flamethrower has a large like spread. So it was a team killing machine. Like if somebody on your team had flamethrower, they were like very likely to get vote kicked or something, or just not vote kicked, just kicked from the party by the host. Because like it was so unbelievably easy to accidentally team kill somebody.
Hmm.
But
And no one would
now,
do that on purpose.
yeah, of course. Now it's still like that, but at least it kills enemies instead
Hmm.
of killing your teammates, but not enemies at all.
This is one of those games where everything you describe sounds like a lot of fun, and I would probably enjoy the time that I would put into it. But I would either I'm gonna wait long enough that I'll like get it in like a month, and just no one will be playing it, and it won't matter, or I'll get it now and be like burnt out too quick because I'm like
Well,
I gotta go through this backlog. But this is such a you in the moment game, you know.
yeah. So what I think that this game has a strong enough theme and appeals to the Warhammer player base from what I've experienced a lot, and those people play like they're pretty loyal to their games generally speaking. Because they're more in it for like the theme and like the immersion than the like not than the gameplay, but I guess more than the content of the game itself, right? Like it's the kind of thing where you like start up the game one night with the boys, and you're playing on like the highest difficulty and just like repeatedly dying for like a couple hours. And I also think that the difficulty scaling is definitely going to give the game a lot of longevity because it has 9 difficulties, and on the highest one, people still haven't like figured out how to actually like. Well, they figured out how to play it. They've just haven't figured out how to like not chain die if you actually engage enemies. Like people have joked, it basically becomes a stealth game, and you do a lot of like hit and run stuff with the objectives because all the objectives are basically like destroy the enemy barracks, destroy like the radio tower, like put in a code to launch a nuke at enemies. Like almost all of them are like some variation of kill objective. So like you do need to engage with enemies to some degree. It's just like how do you dance around that when they like all one shot when they all nearly one shot you and you don't really have like the guns aren't the most powerful things ever. So yeah, I think there are definitely like interesting problems to solve with the way that the game works right now. So it'll maintain a player base, I think.
Yeah, I'm just a little pessimistic, obviously, just based on the nature of but like buying the game, and then
Hmm.
that's just been like so many different games. But I do think
Yeah,
everything looks cool, and I know they're doing some better practices and stuff. People are really comparing them to like this quadruple A game and this triple A game. Like, why can't they be good, but this game can be good? You know.
yeah. I
So
think the one complaint I've heard from this was one of my friends here. So he refused to play the game because apparently it has a kernel level anti cheat. like kind of like the Riot one, from what I understand. I didn't even,
for
I never even
Valorant.
knew that. I just kind of downloaded the game and I was like on with my day. But
It's kind of on brand for the theming of the game to have a kernel
yeah,
level anti cheat,
yeah, that is
invading
true.
your space a little bit.
Yeah, but
But
I could very easily see how cheaters could ruin the game. Apparently, there was like an exploit where it was like what people used to do in like old Modern Warfare lobbies, where if you were in the person's lobby, they could just make you max level and you couldn't undo it. So like all
oh,
your
people,
progression is just like, it's not screwed, but it just kind of feels bad. 'Cause it's like, well, I've just unlocked everything. I have nothing to like play for.
I feel like people used to do that in like Borderlands 1 or
Yeah,
something
that was,
on
they did
like
that in Borderlands One as
PS3.
well. Yeah, I remember that. That happened to me.
That sucks, dude. Like that is like one of like of the ways to hack a player. That one and Dark Souls and the Souls games used to have exploits where you pick up an item and it would just like ban your account or something, or it would just
Yeah,
like
yeah, I remember that.
delete your character pretty much.
Hmm.
That stuff is the worst. Like that just it ruins people's fun.
Yeah.
I know if I got max, like it's one of those things where it's like if you have access to everything, it really does ruin the fun.
Hmm.
I think I learned a valuable lesson about that with like Game Shark as a kid.
Yeah.
Um, I was playing some Game Boy games and I had like Castlevania and like I think well I had the action replay as well. But
Hmm.
for Game Shark, I did like Aria of Sorrow, and I'm like, I have all the items now. It's like, well, what's the point of progressing if I have the best weapon in the game? Like, it just one
Yeah.
shots everything. Um, Also a little fun story: Order of Ecclesia, the Castlevania game on the DS. If you used the action replay, it would like sense that you're tampering with the game, and it like deletes your save file.
Hmm.
And then it also makes it so when you're playing the game, it adds like a 100 like ton weight to your character, so you couldn't jump basically. And I'm like, that
Based.
kind of that really like soured me on that entire game.
Hmm.
Um, James, have you ever had a game that like your save file corrupted or like your account got messed up, something like that? You just never wanted to play the game again, or it took like
Ooh.
forever to come back to it?
Um, I've definitely had a lot of corrupted save files. Like, trying to remember what game it was. It was one of the Final Fantasy games.
And it just ruins like it took me years to go back to play that game. The game is really good. But when your save like if you delete a save file or something, it feels so bad.
Okay, yeah, it was Final Fantasy X. I had it on like PS2, and
Yeah.
I actually think I was pretty close to the ending. And like then I started it up one day, and the save file was corrupted. And I was like asking my brother, like, "What do I do? I want to play." And he was mad too because we used the same save file, and he thought I messed it up.
That's
Oh man.
wild cuz I also have a sibling and that was also you never know too like what
Hmm.
happened. It probably just corrupted, but like then you're
Yeah.
always in the back of your mind like did your sibling like delete the file?
Yeah.
Um Kirby in the Amazing Mirror that happened to me on too.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, that was. I feel like that happens less now. Probably with
Yeah,
auto save
definitely.
now. I feel like the kids don't know that games with auto saving and stuff and cloud
Oh
saves are a
god.
pretty big luxury. You used to have to like
Uh,
manually save,
Forgetting to save was a. Oh my god, that was so awful.
or like, all right, we got to go to a trip. We're gonna go to the beach or something. Like you're in like the middle of a cutscene, which happened to me like
Yes.
in Kingdom Hearts 2, like the ending cutscene
Oh
of the
my
game.
god, those long ass cutscenes where you just tell your parents like, "Wait, I need to get to this cutscene before we leave," and they'd like threaten to leave without you.
I didn't know the ending of Kingdom Hearts 2 for years until I replayed it because I got to the
Oh man.
ending and beat the whole thing and then just
Hmm.
like I didn't know I could pause on the cutscenes, so I just let it play out and I just never knew the ending.
Man.
Um
Yeah.
yeah,
Also,
wild.
pausing on cutscenes revolutionary. Whoever like thought of that first, like it for me in cutscene technologies, being able to pause on cutscenes and having a two button cutscene skip function.
Or hold the button.
Yeah, like I remember when I played Halo Reach and I accidentally pressed the start button, I nearly had a heart attack, and then it said, "Oh, when I press the start button, it like brings up another prompt where I can like press A to skip." And it's like, "Oh my god, they had an actual failsafe. That's
See, the
crazy.
the
Nobody does
problem
that."
is too when that technology was being implemented, it was always a gamble. Is this a game that start pauses or is this start will skip, and I still struggle
Yeah.
with that sometimes. Where I'm like,
Same. Like sometimes
oh,
I'll
I'm
press
worried.
escape and I'll be like very unsure of what I'm about to
Yeah,
experience in the pause menu.
yeah. Well, you need it pause stuff like that in Metal Gear Solid 4 because that game was like I don't even need to get into it. I think anyone who has played Metal Gear Solid 4 knows that it's iconically like the 2 hour cutscenes basically where you would just sit there and just
Hmm.
watch a movie. Which my game, there's a notable thing about Metal Gear where I don't know if you could skip the cutscenes. I for some reason I think you couldn't, but that doesn't sound right. But
Yeah.
there's a part where you are honestly, this is going to be like a mild spoiler, but I don't even remember it that well. So it's not kind of a spoiler. I'm pretty sure the character, the lady from Metal Gear Solid 3, is like a grown, like old woman in the game, and you like go there and visit her or something. There's like a whole weird stealth segment in some like European country or something like that. I barely
Hmm.
remember it, but it's notable for having one of the longer cutscenes in the game. And my game crashed after doing all the cutscenes and
Ooh.
segments. I had to replay that whole segment, and
Yeah,
I
that's
feel like I
rough.
couldn't skip the cutscenes. I just had to walk, like sit there for like an
Hmm.
hour and let it play, which doesn't sound right
Man.
because like I'm not going to Google it. So someone write us at hyep at gmail.com. Let me know if I'm wrong.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, so for you, the Final Fantasy X, that's tough because that's a JRPG too. So you probably have like a
Yeah.
100-hour save.
Yeah. I also remember so I wasn't crazy about turn-based combat back then. Um so it felt especially long to me because like having to wait turns was like my like 8-year-old brain couldn't take it.
Well, and you also had no idea what you were doing, and like
Yeah.
you couldn't really easily look things up unless you had
Hmm.
like a strategy guide or something.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that game, I swear, like certain games like that, especially JRPGs, felt like they took like twice as long,
Yeah.
just like hours and hours. But I was just running into things, not knowing what to do. You kind of take for granted how much knowledge you learned, like through osmosis of just playing so many different games. Like you kind of know like, oh, this is a JRPG. I talk to people and do all that. Like when you're
Yeah.
learning for the first time, like what anything means, it's crazy.
Hmm.
Like to like use an equipment menu and like use items and stuff like that. Like what does this mean?
Hmm.
Once you learn it once, you kind of got it.
Yeah.
You know. Oh, any other things in your week?
Um, don't believe so. I mean, actually, one thing non-gaming related, but Akira Toriyama passed earlier this week.
Hmm. Of
Uh,
Dragon Ball, the creator of Dragon Ball, correct?
yes.
And
Yeah.
Dragon Quest, like the art of Dragon Quest.
Yep. Very sad. I'm probably gonna reread Dragon Ball soon because I. So
Mm-hmm.
growing up, I watched the anime, but I watched it in dub,
Mm-hmm.
and I actually have a bunch of the volumes of Dragon Ball Z, not the original one, but I think I have like 13 through 26, but I'm missing like 25. But for some reason, I have 22. I have two of volume 26. Like I have two copies. I don't know what went down with that, but yeah,
I, that's weird how that happens because I also with Scott Pilgrim I ended up having like two of the same copy. I think it's like you maybe you lost it and then you replaced it and then you found it. Like that's probably what happened.
maybe.
Um, but yeah, so you're gonna reread. I guess that's way faster than rewatching. Um,
Yeah, I'm thinking like I'm probably gonna reread it. Then maybe I'll rewatch it. So I never watched the Japanese version. I only watched the dub, and from what I understand, the dub changed a lot.
mhm.
Like just fundamentally changed some of the characters. So I do want to watch the Japanese version eventually, but it's like with like episodes all being like 20 minutes or something, it's gonna take a while. You know, not as long as
So
One Piece or anything, but like I want to
mhm.
probably read it first, then I'll go back and watch it.
So Dragon Ball, I haven't followed the aftermath news, but like Dragon Ball can't stop because it's so big. Um,
Yeah, so how what's happening right now is with the sequel series Dragon Ball Super, it was initially just an anime, and then it got a manga, which kind of redid all of the arts in the anime, and then when the anime stopped, it went past the anime, and they have a there's basically a new writer and artist, like a guy that does both. And he was being overseen by Akira Toriyama, but at the end of the day, he was like the one actually like making the manga.
Hmm.
So from what I understand, they haven't decided, or there's been no announcement. I would assume that they'll probably continue.
Yeah, you
Uh,
just can't stop.
yeah,
It's so big, you know.
yeah,
It's
and there
just
was
you can't just
also,
stop.
from what I understand, Akira Toriyama had a few works that he was like midway through.
Hmm.
There's like a new Dragon Ball series that's going to be coming out soon. That was like the last thing he like finished working on. What I understand, I think it's coming out in like fall.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, very sad.
Yeah, it's all that was like a pretty shocking headline to
Hmm.
read. Um,
Yeah, and apparently he was very reclusive from what people have said. So there aren't like recent images, but apparently he was sick for a while.
well, all the people who were like the mangaka, which I'm probably saying wrong, but like the people who would write the manga and stuff, they all of them, their work life balance seems
Yeah.
horrible, and also some of the culture surrounding um working, it's just
Hmm.
like so overworked and overstressed, and it's seemingly happening more and more um with people who aren't that old, just not having the best health,
Yeah.
especially when they're putting their bodies through all that stress all the time. um
Hmm.
yeah, it's not great, and not a great end, to see. But
Hmm.
I don't know too much of the information around it, so I don't want to like speculate or like say anything.
Yeah, I forget exactly what it was, but yeah, I actually can't even remember exactly what like the cause of death was, but yeah.
Well, very sad, and not fun, but I think at least he left behind quite a legacy of
Hmm.
crazy, amazing, art and games and all this different stuff. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Speaking of anime, it's a little bit of a different anime. You probably
Uh-huh.
have, well, you know what? You probably do know some of the Overwatch 2 stuff. I'm going to get into Overwatch 2 news. There's the
Hmm.
mid-season patch that came out yesterday, which I've been playing.
Yeah.
um, the Cowboy Bebop crossover
Oh
skins
yeah.
have just been added to the game, and honestly, so some of them are pretty good. The Have you seen the skins?
Yes, I've seen the skins on Twitter a lot.
The Spike skin, the Cassidy skin of Spike, it's just very unfortunate.
Yeah,
It's
they
not great.
people were saying, "Why is he so wide?"
Yeah, someone was also saying they gave him like Deku's hair from My
Yeah.
Hero, and it's kind of true. Like, and Spike's hair, I am not a Cowboy Bebop like huge mega super fan. I've seen some of it. I've not seen enough to really be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. It's just the concept art looked pretty good, and the transition to 3D is just tough. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
The, I mean, Overwatch 2, they're trying to go for all the characters are cosplaying, and that's what they did with the One Punch Man skins. So
Hmm.
that's why they always look a little like off model, which I think is fine if it looks good. And I think the Ashkin looks awesome, and the Ashkin's crosshair, like the actual like
Hmm.
aim down sight, is actually very nice too. It's actually a viable skin, which is a funny thing
Yeah.
about Ash, how some of her skins can just be non-viable pretty much.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I don't know. It seems like it's a really. It seems like with Overwatch's art style, it might be a little rough to transfer some stuff over.
mhm.
Like I know, like with Apex when they did their Final Fantasy crossover, I guess like there wasn't much talk about the quality of the skins because, to be honest, people are kind of used to Apex skins not being great, and there was also just much more to talk about with that event, like the $360 sword. Um,
Mhm.
but I didn't think they were bad. They were just kind of meh, like very like inoffensive, I guess, but like safe overall. Didn't do
Well,
anything like crazy with them.
I respect the keeping the skins within the art style of Overwatch 2, because Fortnite, the skins in Fortnite by comparison, if you look at them, it's just like, all right, we're gonna take the art style from the property and just stick it into Fortnite. So this character's
Yeah.
cell shaded. This character is like realistic. It just makes it's kind of in a style, but it looks kind of terrible.
Hmm.
Um, but and there's a lot of cool things about the skins, and there's cool sound effects and details, and they look good. It's just like 3D is hard to translate from a 2D, and it's just like it just does. He doesn't look good, and I'm hoping they update it to actually make him look less bad. You
Yeah.
know, because the skin's almost kind of cool. It's just really just kind of fumbled it when the other skins look pretty good. Like I think all the additional skins look good.
Hmm.
Um, but it's like funny because like Overwatch 2 for the most part is just kind of the skin game. Like half of the game is just like, oh, look at the pretty skin, and they kind of don't hit sometimes when they should.
Yeah.
They really should. Like when they're putting all this money into them.
Hmm.
I feel like it's just the common Overwatch L that Overwatch just takes all the time. Like it's bizarre how many L's they take.
Yeah, I don't know.
Um,
I feel like the whole skin thing is kind of a problem that lots of games have had. I think the only people that like really get it are like Riot in their games. Their skins are always pretty good. And then from what I understand, I don't know about quality, but I know people like the Fortnite skins for the most part, like the
mhm.
hardcore Fortnite players.
I
Um,
just mhm.
like I don't know. It could be the scheduling for them is like rough. Like how frequently they do these events and relative to like how many staff they have. Because I know Epic, they have Epic Games and Riot are both huge, like
Oh yeah,
thousands
the Infinity
thousands
money.
of employees, like literally like unicorn blood levels of money.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't know. It's probably something that like studios are gonna have to figure out over the next like few years, probably. Would
Yeah, and
not be
I'm
surprised if it
not
is directly correlated with lots of the layoffs.
yeah, I'm not dissing the skins because like clearly a lot of work did go into them. But when you're
Hmm.
charging what they charge for the skins, and I get that like skins, there's a lot of development time or whatever. But when they're charging what they charge, like they should probably all be like pretty good. And I think
Yeah.
all of them except for the Spike skin, and but that Spike's also like the main character. He probably should look good. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. It's I hope they like shadow update and just fix it a little bit. But yeah, over the actual gameplay mid-season patch is pretty good. I've been enjoying Overwatch. Well, it's weird because I don't like Overwatch 2, but I play it a
Yeah.
lot. It's kind of like you with Dota and other games. It's like I don't
Hmm.
have fun, but I have fun, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and I've actually switched yesterday. I played one competitive game because I'm like I'm just gonna play comp to get the golden weapons and stuff like that. I'm going to go into my comp games, not turn on my microphone. Well, I have my mic on in case I'm gonna say something, which I will not,
Yeah.
and maybe I'll join the team chat. But the game I played the other day, no one was chatting anyway because you have the ping tools,
Yeah.
and it was actually fun. Like I enjoyed playing the comp match because it was people were trying, and it wasn't that terrible.
Hmm.
So if I treat it, I mean, I'm going to play seriously, but if I treat it basically like quick play with golden weapon unlocks, I think it'll be the move. I think it's okay.
Yep.
Hmm. Well, that's Overwatch. I mean, I could get into the details. They changed things like oh they nerfed this and did that and whatever.
Hmm.
But it's fine. I think the game is honestly in a really decent ish place right now, gameplay wise. If you're not playing tank, if you're playing DPS or support, it's kind of fun. Um, but yeah, tanks kind of sucks. But it's it's not like terrible. It is kind of fun to play the game.
Hmm.
But yeah, let's talk about a real game. You know what? Instead of Overwatch, did I talk about Cookie Clicker last week?
A little bit.
Did I mention? I'm still. I have it open in the background as we speak right now.
Hmm.
I'm still I bet 73 billion cookies a second. And yeah, this
Damn.
game still fun. I'm learning like there's so many. I think Cookie Clicker kind of spawned the idle clicking genre, although there's probably other stuff before then.
Hmm.
I don't think anything really captures the magic of Cookie Clicker still, because it's just so many weird, like zany things and systems. It's not just clicking the cookie. There's so many like fun systems in it, like farming and
Yeah.
stock market and all that stuff. That it's just kind of it's good to have in the background and just to see what creative kind of thing pops up next, you know.
Hmm.
So I got that rolling, and I've been playing. Have you played any of the Mega Man games ever? Like any Mega Man game?
When I was younger, I think I played one of them on Nintendo DS. I'm trying to remember what it was.
DS. That might have been. I don't even know. It could have been a zero one or something.
I think it was one of the zero ones. It might have been. Was it Mega Man? Was it Mega Man X? No,
I
no. It
feel
was.
like
It was
that's when they
definitely.
started adding like ZX Advent. Like they just
Yeah.
started adding letters.
It was definitely one of the zero ones because I recognized like the red guy.
Yeah, that would be zero.
Yeah.
Um,
The the aforementioned zero TM.
yeah, or it could be. I mean, Red Guy could be Proto Man, but when it's the zero game, it would be zero.
Yeah.
Um, I yeah, I've been on this like weird kick semi recent. It's not recently. I did this like a couple months ago, where I played Mega Man X 1 through like 3, and
Hmm.
those were really good. And then I just started playing Mega Man X4 again recently, which is the first. So Mega Man X 1 through 3 were Super Nintendo, and then 4 was like the jump to PS1. So a lot of
Hmm.
the X games are on PS1, and X4 is fine so far. It's kind of, it feels a lot easier than the Super Nintendo ones, and the levels feel kind of less inspired. Everything about it just feels kind of less inspired, and just
Yeah.
feels a little bit like kind of yuck. I don't know, but it is the first PS1 entry, so that's kind of neat.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. It's just kind of it's fine. It's just more Mega Man, you know. That's kind of my review of it. I had never played any of the Mega Man games really that in depth. Like I haven't beaten them until later in life. I didn't
Hmm.
realize they're kind of soulsy in a way where you like, or Metroidvania e, but they're not. Like
Oh,
you can
so I guess
revisit
you're meaning to
levels.
tell me that the Souls games are Mega Man likes.
Yes. Well, it kind of is in a weird way because you go through a level and you can use your abilities to like get permanent upgrades in these levels, and then you fight a boss, and like the boss is the challenge. Like the level is just like a vehicle to get you to the boss,
Hmm.
and then you can
Oh, so it's a Shadow of the
have,
Colossus like.
I don't know. You know, I feel like it's mostly comparable to Souls because you walk through a door. I mean, other way around, obviously, because Mega Man was first. But you walk through like a fog door and it closes, and then you fight a boss, and then you grind it like you're doing a Souls boss. You know.
Hmm.
And I think people who like Dark Souls can find a way to compare Dark Souls to every single game. But I think there are sometimes it's fair to compare. At least I'm using Dark Souls as a lens of games I like. You know. Um, but yeah, that's I've just been playing that, and I don't know, other random things. I really kind of want to get into these amazing AI questions from earlier. If you want to get into those,
Sure.
all right. So if you have a question, again, I'm gonna say it again. HYEP podcast at gmail.com. That's HYEP podcast at gmail.com. I know you have questions. We've gotten questions. Send in your questions. That's a
Yes.
threat.
Yes.
Um,
You'll never
Otherwise, we're
get
gonna
you'll never get
subject
answers if
you.
you don't send in your question.
That's true. We're gonna subject you to AI generated questions that'll be worse and worse each week.
You'll be
This is
searching
this is
forever and
going
you'll
easy
never
on you.
find it.
All right, James. Let me ask you a great question.
Okay.
So I kind of want to ask you all these questions. So if you can be
Okay.
the you can hear them first. Um.
Sure.
So James, if Mario and Sonic swapped universes, what would their new catchphrases be?
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
You got to think. What are their current catchphrases?
Yeah, I'm thinking. I mean, like Sonic is like gotta go fast,
Mm-hmm.
and then Mario is like, I mean, it says
What is
Wahoo.
it now? Think about it.
What is Mario's catchphrase nowadays?
It's Chris
I mean,
Pratt being like, "Oh, let's
I
go."
guess it's like it's a me Mario.
Is it though?
There's Let's It
Like,
Go.
what is
I don't know what
Mario's?
his
No,
what
wait.
I don't know what
It's
his
Wowie
actual.
Zowie.
No
It's
way.
from Mario Wonder. It's Wowie Zowie.
No way.
That's his current actual new
Okay, I
catchphrase.
googled it.
Unironically.
One of the ones that came up is Mario number one.
Oh yeah, Mario
Why?
number one. Yeah,
Okie
that's
dokie.
like Mario Kart.
Oh man.
No, his
Uh,
current canon new catchphrase, like if we're using the latest release in the Mario series, Mario Wonder, is "Wowie Zowie." That's all of their catchphrases at the at the
hmm.
current moment.
So I'm thinking. So Sonic says gotta go fast because what he
Yep,
does is go fast.
that's
So
true.
what? So if he were in the Mario universe, he'd be doing what Mario's doing. So what does Mario do?
He would say, "It's a me, Mario," but it's Sonic. Like
I
Sonic would say, "It's a
I don't
me,
know. Like,
Mario." That's what he would say.
would he say gotta do shrooms? Like I don't.
No, that's not what you. I think
Mario
you're
eats
thinking.
mushrooms. He does.
So, are you thinking it's gonna be Sonic's catchphrase, "Gotta go fast," but with a Mario element?
Yeah, yeah.
I was thinking they're swapping, so he would be going like "Wahoo!" or like he'd be going like "It's a
No,
me, Sonic."
well, no, because that's just them swapping catchphrases. It's not like
Oh, you're right. They swapped.
yeah.
Okay, it's just universe swapping. So hot
Yeah.
right now.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, I don't
yeah,
know.
you're right.
I like gotta do shrooms. I think that's a
He's
good one.
still going fast in Mario
Yeah, but
universe
he's
though.
also doing shrooms.
He doesn't need to change. Like he would just get bigger and go fast,
Yeah, be bigger and faster, and maybe like
and
throw
stronger
fireballs.
too.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I don't know. On Mario's side, uh,
he would have attitude, I guess.
yeah, I don't know. Let's see, he's collecting rings instead of coins.
That's true.
Um,
He has to like run up a circuit. Like he has to. Mario has to run up
yeah,
a
I don't know. I don't think
like
Mario's fast enough
a
for that. I
loop
feel
de
like he would
loop.
just kind of fall over.
Well, Mario clearly gets the worst end of things when he
You
goes to
just hit his
Sonic World.
head. I don't think he has the supernatural, the superhuman capabilities for that.
Because Sonic is like designed, his world is designed for him. Basically, everything is just like shoots and ladders and hooks, which is kind of bullshit if
Yeah.
you're anyone else in the Sonic world.
Yeah, I kind of feel like the Mario world, like Mario's technically like a normal guy. It's the things that he gets that make him like special.
Hmm. No, he's super. He's not a normal guy. He
Well, he
literally
gets
is
super when
super.
he does shrooms.
He even with small Mario you can beat the game as small Mario.
Well, yeah, because you just jump and step on things, but like anybody can do that.
Okay, well anybody can go fast
Not as fast as Sonic though.
with
Like
exercise.
they're like baselines you have to meet. Like Sonic is superhuman. Somebody with exercise, like
Uh,
Usain Bolt, can't run upside down or run on water.
Robotnik is canonically faster than Sonic, according to that one game where he runs away from Sonic.
Yeah, but
Do
doesn't
you
he
know
have
the
like
game?
robotic enhancements or
No,
something?
he's just on his bare feet running away from Sonic. In like I don't remember which
I
Sonic
don't know.
game. It's
Maybe he
one of
has
the
like
early ones.
maybe he like blew out his like knee or something, and he got a robotic knee that made him run faster.
Okay, well, no, I think
But I
he's
mean,
just I
either
think
way,
he's just built
he's like
different.
from the Sonic universe, so
He's Jim Carrey.
it's implied the people that are like born there are like better. But like that's not, if you're putting somebody in that universe, they don't have the quality of somebody born in that universe.
Okay, well
It's like they
clearly
got
Mario
teleported
gets
there. It's like an
screwed, but
isekai.
what's his catchphrase? What's Mario's? Is he like
Wait,
oh
actually,
oh no?
I guess isn't it technically Mamma Mia? Isn't that like the original one?
That's not his. That's his death phrase.
I don't know, man. I mean,
I don't know. Bad
I don't know.
question. Moving on. Move
I don't
on.
know.
Bad
Maybe you would just
question.
say fuck this when he tries to run across water and just drowns.
Yeah, it really. I mean, it started as a question about catchphrases, but it really ended up being like
I don't know.
Mario gets screwed.
Maybe he'd just
Sonic
be
can
saying
just
Mamma Mia a
deal.
lot because he'd keep dying.
That's true. All right. Anyway, let me ask you a real question. What's the most
Okay.
absurd item you'd like to see in a loot box? Bonus points if it's both useless and hilarious.
Both
Are these
useless
like pulled
and
from real podcast? Like
hilarious.
what? Where did they get the data for
Oh
this?
boy.
What are we plagiarizing right
What
now?
would I want to see in a loot box?
Yeah, bonus points if it's useless and hilarious.
Bonus
Like
points if it's
everything you get out of
useless
a loot box.
and hilarious. Ooh, this is a tough one. I gotta think of like some items.
Like, but like in a video game, why would you want? Oh, yeah, I guess you could think about this like
I guess
legitimately.
the question is more like, what's the most useless and hilarious item you can remember from a video game? And
Oh,
I
how
mean,
about
in
any souvenir in Overwatch 2?
if we're talking useless and hilarious, I think you'd have to have. I guess maybe it's not useless in game, but like the penetrator from Saints Row 3. and
Mhm.
4. That'd
That's
be
not
that'd be a pretty
useless.
funny one. Like it's useful, but it's hilarious.
I think about another Sonic thing. Pre-order DLC. There's some pre-order DLCs that were literally just like you get 10 one-ups in game. So I could imagine if you get a loot box that you pay real money for and you got like 10 one-ups in Mario or something like Mario Run, that would be awful.
That reminds me of that one time I got peer pressured by a. Actually, I guess it's not really peer pressure, but like this guy at GameStop literally would not let me leave the store until I pre-ordered Black Ops 2, and
Mhm.
I just didn't get any pre-order bonuses. I don't even think they held the game for me.
Mhm. No, James,
He was just really mad that I didn't want to pre-order Black Ops 2.
I very abruptly censored the last podcast. Do you want to give out the full street address and city name again for that GameStop? You want to give out the full? Please don't, so I don't have to censor it again.
Yes,
But you want to give out the
588 Brooklyn Way.
yeah Brooklyn Way, and I had
Yes.
to put in Hotel Mario, the Mushroom Kingdom, very abruptly with no explanation. No, I didn't put it
Yes.
in the description. No one's commented on it so far, but yes, that was a part where James listed the full like address and
Okay, no.
city,
I didn't list the address. I
like
just said like the
state.
town.
It was like it's on this place. This is where it is.
I
Um,
said like it's in this town, like near this. I didn't like give it specific. I didn't give like numbers or anything
you
or like the
gave them
street.
exact. There's no
Just
other
talking about like
location it could be.
landmarks.
Um. Anyway, that would be hilarious. That would be a funny item to pull out of a loot
Yes.
box. Uh, Oh god. Well, you know what? Remember when? Okay, in Team Fortress 2, one of the OG kind of loot boxes, they used to have their loot boxes used to be you would open a crate, and that crate would either have a hat in it, which was super rare, or it would have like a strange, or it would have like a strange. I don't even know. I don't even think it had stranges at first, but oh, you know what? It couldn't have been strange. Like so, you could open a loot box and you would just get a regular item
Mm-hmm.
out of it. Like you would get like a beggar's bazooka out of it.
Beggar's
And
bazooka.
that used to matter more when weapons used to cost more. Like they would be like on par, and scrap actually mattered because it was like 4 scrap to a key or something. Like you could there
Mm-hmm.
was some sort of reasonableness to it, but that's pretty ridiculous that you could open a loot box. To think like you could open a loot box and just receive like a vanilla standard item that you could just get for free in the game, um
Mm-hmm.
with a like a 0% chance of getting a crazy super mega hat. Like that was absurd. um
Yeah.
but anyway, James, let's round off these last beautiful questions, such as if video game characters had Tinder profiles,
Oh
what would
God.
be on their bios? I'll give you some characters. I'm gonna Google video game character random. I'm just gonna random give you some characters,
Oh boy.
and you're gonna okay. What the, okay, that was a terrible one I got at first. I'm gonna roll. Oh, here we go. Ezio from Assassin's Creed. What was
Ezio.
it? What
Jesus
would his
Christ.
profile read?
Uh, I mean, it'd probably be. I don't know exactly like the words, but it'd probably be some really suspicious shit that would lead you to believing an assassin, but like he wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
say it. Like he would accidentally like make it obvious,
Mm-hmm.
and then I don't know. He'd probably list the people he's been with because he was a he was quite the womanizer in the games.
Mm-hmm.
He would have like
He
a
might say
resume, like a
something,
relationship resume.
something like, "I
Yeah.
would like to see your ass in my creed" or something. I don't know. It'll say dot dot dot. I don't know.
Oh god, he would probably
And
list like his skills too. Like
killing the
yeah,
Pope as a skill. Is
yeah.
does he kill the Pope? Is that a
I
Ezio
think
thing?
so. I don't remember.
He's Italian. That's a skill.
Probably say he doesn't like public displays of affection because he likes blending in with the crowd.
That's true. He wait, yeah. He's like, I like to, sometimes I like to go out and go hiking and be athletic, but sometimes I want to blend in.
Yeah. Sometimes I just like leaving my house and just blended in with the crowd. Just hanging out.
Hmm. Just hanging out. He likes high places
Yeah,
and
he likes
jumping off of
hiking.
high places.
He's climbed many mountains.
Oh yeah, he likes climbing, like mount. You could put like mountain
Loves high
climbing
vantage points.
or like rock climbing.
Yeah,
Axe throwing in later entries, I'm sure.
yeah, yeah.
Axe
Some
throwing.
parkour.
Hmm.
Very
He's
skilled cook. He's great with a knife.
does he cook in Let Him Cook?
Nobody uses knives.
This doesn't mean you're good at cooking,
Yeah, but like,
but he's
I don't know.
Italian,
I
so
mean,
he's probably
what?
good at
How else would
cooking.
you display your knife skills on like a Tinder profile?
I guess, yeah, good at knife skills. I think we really got to emphasize the fact that he kills the Pope. I think. Did anyone ever beat any of those games? Okay?
Good.
Did anyone ever actually play to completion an Assassin's Creed game? Right
I mean,
in,
I
like,
did. I played 2 and 3 completely, and also
hmm.
4. But like, I don't know. That was a while ago. Like, not long after they came out.
All right, next character. That's a King of Fighters character. No one knows who that is. Okay, do you know who Darth Malgus from Star Wars: The Old Republic is?
I knew until you said the Gus part.
Yeah, it's not Darth Maul. It's Darth Maul Gus, his
Oh,
like
I
cousin.
recognize him. I just don't like
I'm giving you someone else. Then
know
that's.
the character well. Yeah.
Wait a minute. Who is Taizo Hori from Dig Dug? Is that Dig Dug? Wait a minute. Wait, is Dig Dug's name Taizo Hori?
I so
Who is Taizo Hori? Wait a minute. Taizo Hori, originally known as Dig Dug or
Wait, that's
Digu Dagu,
crazy.
is the main. I didn't know his name was Taizo Hori.
Man, that is pretty crazy.
And also, wait, and one of the main characters in the Mr. Driller series. I didn't know Mr. Driller was in the Dig Dug verse either.
The Dig Dug verse.
What? Alignment. Baraduke. He likes eating. Oh, wait a minute. Here we got some profile information. I got some profile information about
Ooh.
Taizo Hori for you.
Okay.
You know who I'm talking about, though, right? The Dig Dug man? Dig Dug? Taizo
Yeah,
Hori?
I know who you're talking about. I haven't played like the games, but I recognize the character.
If you've played Dig Dug for 2 seconds, you've played the game.
Damn.
Um,
I don't believe I
so
played
Dig
for 2
Dug
seconds.
is age 27, and then later age 30 in Mr. Driller. Oh wait, and sorry, later age 30 in Dig Dug 2, and later age 46 in Mr. Driller.
So you could say in its profile, I'm 27, 30, or 46, depending on what the current year is.
Yes, I like that. I like that. This is important for any dating profile. His fighting styles are
Oh
digging,
boy.
pumps, and firearms. He enjoys
Yes,
digging,
yes.
pumping, and firearms.
Knowing fighting styles of your significant other is good.
Yeah, so how are you gonna work that into his profile?
I
What
think I would just
prompt
put
are
it
you
in
putting
there.
in? You just just raw, put it in there, no
Yeah,
content in a
these are my
list.
fighting
Okay.
styles. Like, it's like a, I don't know. Like, maybe he could tell himself as a wrestler. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. All right. Hair color brown, dark brown. Eye color
Okay.
brown. Blood type O. It's important for
Okay. Yeah. Blood type
compatibility.
has to be in there.
Um, here's his likes: eating, uh, Egypt, and digging.
Egypt.
Now, one of those is kind of a curveball. In the Taizo Hori space, I really
Yeah.
typecast him as a person who likes to dig, a person who likes to eat. But Egypt,
Yeah. Damn.
I'm
That's
not
kind of.
entirely sure. So he likes to travel.
Yeah. That's
You could
good.
put that on there.
I like to travel.
Um,
Been to Egypt 30 times.
hmm So I'm reading some more lore. He cameoed in Wreck-It Ralph.
Okay.
Taizo Hori.
An
Do
actor.
you know what you know what his name is a pun of?
No.
A Japanese phrase which means I want to dig.
Ooh, okay. So he how do I word this? He's a very passionate man. You know, always knew what he wanted for his entire life from birth.
Mm.
Good
So there's
quality.
also another character, a lesser known character called Black Dig Dug, who is the female dark version of Dig Dug. But there's little to be known on her on the wiki.
Little to be known. So his ex is very mysterious.
I don't know if I don't know what their relation is. Because again, very mysterious. I think it was just a palette swap. So I don't. There's
Mhm.
no extended lore. Let's keep it roll. Do we have another question? I kind of want to keep it. All right, there's another question, but I kind of want to keep it rolling on this. I'm liking these characters. I didn't know. Okay, apparently the unicorn from Peggle, his name is Bjorn. Didn't know that.
Bjorn.
Uh, I don't. I'm getting some good ones, but I'm trying to find one that's like, oh, here we go. Icon of Sin from Doom Eternal.
Ooh, that's a good one. It's not much of a
Well,
character, but like,
what are you putting on it? Wait a minute, there's an AI chat feature. Wait, can I talk to Icon of Sin in AI
oh
chat
my god.
version? You kind of can. Oh god, that might be a podcast for another time. All right, what's your icon of sin? By the way, for people who don't know, icon of sin is just looking is like imagine like generic demon enemy from Doom. Whatever you're thinking of is the character.
But it's really big.
Yeah. So all right, I mean that's a pro 6 like over
Oh
6
man.
foot. Put that on there.
Yeah, over 6 foot. Very
Hmm.
iconic.
Iconic, yeah. Doesn't wear clothes.
Yeah. Not a big fan of clothes.
No, doesn't wear clothes. Has
It's okay. It's
horns.
okay if you wear them, but I will not.
Yeah, not a fan. I don't think they could. There's not a big and tall store that
Yeah.
is big and tall enough.
Yes.
Cloven
Partially
hoof like
robotic.
shoes, partially
Some
robotics.
form
Good.
of cyborg.
Hmm.
I lost some of my limbs in a horrific accident, but I hope you can move past that.
Do we know? I'm going on the wiki for Icon of Sin. Do we know their age? Uh
We know their health points 45,000.
oh, that's good. I'm on the same wiki page as you. I'm gonna look up Icon of Sin age.
They have 2 phases.
Oh,
Only two.
I got the age. Age eons old.
Okay.
It's kind of a boomer. Um, wait, we
Man.
wait, these stats are so good because they have little like this is like some like garbage wiki page. The stats have little like in parentheses like authors comments, and it's just like uh abilities, immortality can only be killed in a specific way. I mean that one's kind of normal.
Mm.
Um, but they keep going to the point where it's like um wait, lifting strength immeasurable to possibly irrelevant. Tier warrants this. Striking strength at least high hyperversal possibility outer versal
Oh
superior to
wait.
con
You
makers.
need to mention that his
Con.
father was the commander of the Night Sentinels.
I did not know that. That's the
Yeah.
way he comes from.
Do you actually
Good
know the
stock.
lore of the Icon of Sin?
I have not played
So
Doom Eternal yet.
so his father was, as I said, the commander of the Night
My
Sentinels,
father,
and he basically betrayed them because he wanted to bring his son back to life,
who is a bad boy.
and his son became the Icon of Sin
Oh, that
when he came back to life. I
see
don't
that
remember like the
baggage.
fine details because I haven't played Doom Eternal for a while, but that was the general gist of everything.
I do like his weakness. Being large in size makes him easier target to hit. I've been telling that to everyone for all this time.
Yeah.
Uh, Stamina infinite. Demons don't get tired. Just making a statement there.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, whoever wrote
All
this
right.
article. Um, I do like eons old as age.
Yeah.
It's like, where'd you get that information from? Oh, here.
Somebody eons ago.
Now you can do Shadow the Hedgehog, and then we'll move to the next question.
Shadow the Hedgehog. Oh boy.
Yeah, I don't think you even need to put anything. Just a picture of Shadow the
Yeah,
Hedgehog,
it
and
does a
then
picture
everyone
with his
swarms.
like a picture of him on his motorcycle.
Oh yeah, with his two
Say like,
guns.
oh
Him and
man, just
Tori
have all,
Hanzo
like
have a
the
lot to talk
edgiest
about.
likes possible.
He
Like
likes darkness, hates lightness, hates
still
Sonic.
getting over his ex.
Yeah, his human child girl ex he's not dating. They're just like it's just a weird human child woman that he like. I don't. They're really. It's like a Frankenstein kind of relationship or
Yeah,
something. I don't.
I don't
It's a
know.
weird.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of varies. We'll have to see we'll have to see in Sonic 3 the movie what they do with that. So that's probably gonna be the definitive version for a while.
His likes the damn Chaos Emerald. Hates finding that damn fourth Chaos Emerald.
Man.
He likes mild swearing and comic mischief and T-rated in a T-rated setting.
Dislikes anyone who opposes him. Fools. Dislikes humanity. That might be hard to work with. Oh boy. Let's see. Dislikes deception. He's an honest man.
Is he? Is he though?
Apparently.
he has amnesia.
Okay, so he doesn't like time wasting, losing when someone insults him, when someone gets in
How
his
old is
way.
he? Look
Uh,
up Shadow the
I feel
Hedgehog.
like I
Google
remember he was like
Alexa
10.
Shadow Hedgehog age.
Oh, he's ageless, but he was created 50 years ago.
So he's 50.
Okay.
He's a 50-year
Um,
old bitter man. How old is
he's
Sonic?
three. Oh my god, he's 3'3". He's 3'3".
Wait.
Oh
So
my
why is?
god.
Wait a minute. I think this just means. Uh,
He's 3'3" and 77 pounds.
yes. I think that I googled how old is Sonic. I think they mean the series, but it just says 33Y for years. I just like to imagine
Oh
Sonic's
man.
33 years old. Oh my
Good
god.
lord.
Okay. Let me ask you the last question. Oh, this
All
is
right.
such a bad question. What's the best way to defeat a boss? With a dance off, a heated debate, or thumb war? That
Ooh.
just sounds like Baldur's Gate 3. Like that's how people describe that game.
I'm a big fan of the dance off.
Okay, unironically though,
Dance offs needs to come back. Guardians of the
and
Galaxy tried it. It like worked, but nobody went anywhere with it after that. It was kind of an isolated thing in human history.
that's kind of a sick way to do a boss fight if you have a dance off.
Yeah.
Especially if the game never has that the entire game, and then the final boss is like,
Yeah, like
okay,
if the boss
let's rock.
if the boss like low key has moves, I feel like I'm even more intimidated.
That would be pretty great.
Yeah.
Um, there is a game. So there was a Dexter's Laboratory game on the PS1 that had weird rhythm game dancing sections, and I think
Hmm.
that's the closest I could get to a boss fight like that. But heated debate is just any like Fallout, any kind of those games where it's just like, don't you should shut your own machine off. Um, Thumb Wars, that's kind of stupid. That's something like Kiryu would do in Yakuza. He'd just give like
Yeah,
the
that
rival
sounds very
Yakuza boss
Yakuza.
like a thumb pinch, and then the Yakuza boss would fall into like the blades of a helicopter, and like
Yeah.
the blood would like spray over Kiryu, and he'd be like, and he didn't die, and
Yep.
Kiryu never killed anyone.
Yep.
Like Batman. Okay, back to Batman animated series. I've been slacking, haven't watched. He like throws people off of roofs
Oh yeah.
in that in it, and then they'll like cut to them falling into the one safe spot. He threw two people out of a helicopter, and they land like 1,000 feet in like one of those building, like like the things that don't exist, like in Aladdin, like the building like canopies or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. I know
They
what you mean.
fall into those. They would still horribly die. Like
Yeah. I've always felt the no kill rule is there for Batman's morals, not necessarily his actions.
I can't. He didn't aim. Like he
Like
threw them
yeah.
all out of two people out of a helicopter. There's no way he's aiming.
Yeah. I don't
He
know. He's
just
a
gets.
smart guy.
I guess. Well, there's also in the same episode. There's a part where this Batman in the animated series. He like picks up a man in his like bat jet with like a claw crane, and he's just like speeding this man on like 1 foot across like the sky. He's like, "You're crazy." And I'm like, how is this man not having like a heart attack? He's like, it is not. I don't know.
Yeah.
Batman's getting real lucky with his no kill rule, and that's like one of the most I feel like easily talked about things ever. It's like, wow, Batman, why no he kill? Or it's like, but it's kind of tough. It really is when you're watching it, when you're in the moment, and you're seeing people like get horribly forever maimed. It's like this. You're just basically just killing them. Come on, Batman. I think it
Batman.
was a podcast.
Bad. Yes.
Bad Man.
Batman.
Would it be funny if his name was Badman instead of Batman?
Maybe.
That'd be funny, I think. I'm Matt, aka Matt Fondude. Who are you?
I'm James, aka James04E.
And tune in next week for a wonderful, glorious more AI questions. And that's a podcast. Goodbye.
Yes.